What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with the XFL Week 3 Power Rankings. And in this one, I'll be breaking down where all 8 teams rank after Week 2 and head into Week 3. But before I get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below to be entered into our giveaway at 500 subscribers. All you have to do to be entered is just be a subscriber to our channel. So let's get into it here at 8 with the Orlando Guardians. This team is not good through these first 2 games. The offense, who knows what's going to happen there? Is it going to be Francois or Paxton Lynch? The QB play, under 100 yards total. The 2 touchdowns were okay, but the interception, was costly. And it's just the offense. The offense has no signs of life. The defense, did give up 21 unanswered, as they still search for that first win against the Brahmas. But now they got to go face the Renegades, who look pretty good. And it's going to be a tough game to get that first win. At 7, staying at 7 for the 3rd time this year, you got the Vegas Vipers. Man, they lost an ugly one. They scored their only touchdown on a 2-yard play where the defenders fumbled and they recovered it and returned it all the way back to the 2. So other than that, they had no offense on the day. Brett Hundley came in and threw under 100 yards. And the running game was barely there. I think they totaled 130 yards, nothing too good. But they need to figure out offense quickly as well, just like those Guardians, because if they can't get anything going on the offensive end, it's only going to take 2 touchdowns and a field goal to beat these teams here at the bottom. At 6, you got the Seattle Sea Dragons, who are likely the most unluckiest team here in the XFL through 2 weeks. They're losing on the game-winning field goal and then the fumble last week at the 1-yard line against the defenders. So this team just has had some bad luck early on in the season, because this team could be 2-0 and possibly number 1 in these rankings, but it just isn't panning out that way. They need to figure out those fumble troubles. They lost 3 more this week after the week before, struggling as well. But Ben DiNucci has looked great playing under center for the Sea Dragons, and Proctor has been his top target. So those 2 have developed a great connection moving forward, and both of the teams are looking for their first win for Vegas and Sea Dragons. At 5, you have the Arlington Renegades, who went from number 1 to 5 after last week. This is because they just didn't show up in the second half. They had all that momentum, scoring 14 unanswered in the second quarter, and just laid an egg. They totaled 125 yards on offense. The running game struggled. Drew Pitt had an okay game, nothing too crazy, but the defense did their part in slowing down the Roughnecks. But the Renegades offense just did not show up, and that proved costly against them, as they should get back on track against the Guardians at home because of the quarterback play. At 4, you got the San Antonio Brahmas getting a big win over the Guardians on the road. They scored 21 unanswered at one point in the second quarter to the fourth quarter. They held the Guardians to 175 total yards as they forced that quarterback swap. And Jack Cohn went 16-24, nothing crazy, with 3 touchdowns. And, he's trying to play his way into getting drafted this year. And now they got to go face the Roughnecks. It's going to be a tough game for them. But San Antonio, is prepared for it after that week 1 stunner. 3, staying at 3, are the St. Louis Battlehawks. They won yet another close game, beating the Sea Dragons in Seattle after they drove down the field to kick the game-winning field goal after stopping that 3-point conversion, which, they would have had to throw a Hail Mary to win the game if they let them convert that. But both of these wins that they've had have been by a total of 5 points. And you got to think the defense coming up with big stops late and holding teams under 20 points just so they can have a shot at winning games. So if you want to look at a positive here for the Battlehawks, you got to look at AJ McCarron. He is playing great through these first 2 weeks, and expect it to continue as well, as these Battlehawks look really good. And at 2, the DC Defenders are staying put as well. They struggled for a little bit in the first half, but then scored 18 unanswered in the second half to get that win to stay at 2-0. And so now they play the Battlehawks at home, so someone's got to lose that game. And, I'm not going to tell you who I'm picking, but it should be a close game in that one. And if DC can keep running the ball how they did last week, then, I might have to lean the defender's way. But the only thing that they have negatively going their way is the fumbles. They're still losing the ball, and that's not a sight you want to see from the offensive side. But moving over to the defense, they held Vegas to only 9 first downs, 177 total yards, and they gave up that TD I mentioned earlier where the drive started at the 2-yard line. So other than that, I would say the defense held their own and pitched a shutout, really. And at one, the Houston Roughnecks make the jump from 4-1, which is a huge jump in only an 8-team league. They held Arlington scoreless in the second half while only allowing them 125 total yards of offense. They forced 2 turnovers but committed 3, so that's the only negative heading into this week. And Brandon Silvers has looked pretty solid compared to a lot of the other XFL quarterbacks. And this team knows how to get it done when it matters most. So it's no surprise that the Roughnecks are at 1. But that's going to be it for the video this week. Make sure you guys come back next week to see where your favorite XFL team ranks and hit our subscribe button to be entered into our giveaway. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.